Okay, guys. Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs have made another free agent signing. They signed forward Jimmy Vesey to a one-year deal worth 900,000 for that 1 year. I think what Toronto's getting with Vesey is a guy who definitely underperformed last year, but I think they're getting a much better player than what we saw out of him in Buffalo. Is it just me, or did I just always seem to get the sense that VC just didn't want to go to Buffalo for some reason? Maybe, he came from New York, then no offense to the people of Buffalo, but you go from playing in New York City for the Rangers to the city of Buffalo for the Buffalo Sabres. There is quite a difference there. But as for VC's play, it obviously really declined last year. He is a good player, though. He's put up good numbers throughout his career, as we all know. Last year, he only had 9 goals, 11 assists for 20 points in 64 games. But the year before that, he had 27 points. Or his first year, he had 27 points, 28 points his second year, 35 points in his third year, the year before he got traded to Buffalo, of course. That was a career high, 35 points. I don't know what type of player he's going to be for Toronto. I think he's a guy that can play on their power play. I've heard talk about, the Leafs salary cap and what they're going to do with that. That is going to be interesting. I did feel after Toronto traded out Kapanen and Johnson, I mean, they do have the big four still, obviously, which is just so explosive and dynamic. But they do need some more offensive depth outside of that. I think they have it in Kerfoot, but they did need another guy to kind of supplement that. Obviously, I don't think VC is as good as Kapanen or even Janssen, but I think he's going to be a guy that can fill a good role for Toronto and score some goals for them, and probably even score more than 9 goals that he had last year. There was so much hype about this guy when he first came out of college 4 years ago, and rightfully so. I mean, you look at his numbers that he put up in college for Harvard University were just outstanding. And he got to the NHL, and obviously the NHL is a whole different ball game than college or university hockey. It's just he gets to the NHL and he puts up some decent numbers, but probably not maybe what people were expecting. I think a lot of people expected he was going to be at least a 40 to 50 point guy. Obviously, he's yet to hit the 40-point plateau in his career. So Toronto, they're going to get a guy who I don't think is going to get 40 points, but I think he can, on a good year, he can get more than 20 that he had last year. Maybe he gets 30, especially playing even lower in the lineup, playing on a four. If he plays on the fourth line, I think he's better than your average fourth liner in terms of skill. So he might be able to exploit the other team's fourth line more. So we'll see how that works out for Toronto. And also, Mattias Janmark is signed by the Chicago Blackhawks to a one-year deal worth 2.25 million. I think Chicago's getting a guy again, much like Toronto, who underperformed last year. He's a guy that he's shown he's got great capabilities of scoring goals. He's a great playmaker, but for some reason, the last couple of years, it just hasn't clicked for Janmark. He's a guy who's a great skater, and I always find it confusing when a guy who's a great skater has a hard time producing points if he's got decent hands like Janmark does, because the league's so fast now, and without all the clutching and grabbing, and they took out the slashes on the hands. I mean, the league's more geared towards a guy like Janmark. So just to see him not be able to put up good numbers these last few years is obviously pretty disappointing. But I think Chicago might be getting a better player than what we've seen the last few years out of him in Dallas. And you go back a few years ago, when Janmark, even just a couple years ago actually, when he had a season with 19 goals, 15 assists for 34 points in 81 games played, and everyone was thinking, okay, this looks like the year he's finally going to break out. He's going to have a breakout season the next season and be a really good supporting player for the Dallas Stars. But that never really ended up being the case. Then he followed up with two back-to-back six-goal seasons. And in the first season of those six-goal seasons, he had 25 points and 21 points respectively. Obviously, that's a huge disappointment for the Dallas Stars management, the Dallas Stars fan base. But like I said, with Chicago now, maybe Janmark just needed a change of scenery to find his offensive game. We'll see how it works out for him in Chicago. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about both signings, if you're a Leafs fan or a Blackhawks fan or just any fan of any team for that matter. But until next time, guys, please like and subscribe and share this video. And I'll talk to you guys soon. And one last thing, have a safe, happy Thanksgiving. And, we got, I guess, a lot to be thankful for despite some pretty rocky times this past year. But that's all I got to say for now, guys, and I'll see you soon.